I am AJ Stair here at the Minneapolis Wheat Kings at the Minnesota State Fair. Pour me. More.
And that sums up your guys' whole mentality out there. I tell you, that was a blast. You guys traveled well.
We did. We went. Guys wouldn't miss it.
AJ, where are you guys?
We're at the Minnesota State Fair right now, biggest fair in the country, as Ian's pouring up another one for Natalie.
And who is Natalie for the rest of us lay people?
So Natalie is what we named the trophy. So that's the national championship trophy right there.
And I'm sure that is food safe varnish on there. Is there any left in it?
Not anymore, no. But there will be more.
More. All right.
Hey, more. Who's next? Ross, go next.
All right, they are chugging away. Oh my goodness. So, what is going on tonight at the State Fair? Is there a concert, or are you guys just there with Natalie having a good time?
We're just here with Natalie, showing her around, letting her know what Minnesota's all about. You know, she's in a non-hotbed for once, so we're letting her know that the other states you don't just fly over.
I like it. You don't just fly over them. Have you guys ever seen Shoresy? Because this definitely seems like a scene out of Shoresy.
Yes, Shoresy is my favorite. After we lost to the Topes, I put my face on a picture and I said, "This team will never lose again."
I was specifically told by one of the Nashville players that I sound exactly like Shoresy.
More. Yes, you guys are definitely the honorary Shoresy team as your that is amazing out there. I love it. So, what was it like? I mean, Midbo, you've been coaching some of these guys since they were kids. What's it like to now watch these guys pounding beers out of the national trophy?
It's pretty special. I think 6 or 7 guys in that crew were guys that I coached at some point. But no, it's pretty freaking special, man. Like some of the journeys that this squad has been on. When we were doing all the championship pictures, I had one. I was like, "Hey, if I've ever coached you, get in this pic." And we had to make room for 19 guys. It's pretty special. I've literally watched some of these guys grow up. Sammy Lewis, he was our leading scorer this past weekend. He's sophomore year of college down at Anderson University. I've coached him since he was 10 years old. Like Tommy's almost 10 now, my kid. So I've literally watched some of these guys grow up. Ian and Nappy coaching them in high school and then in college. Ian's now got an MBA and a full-time job, and he's a real adult. So it's pretty special. It's kind of a testament to where this game can take you and some of the connections you can get from it. But yeah, it's pretty freaking special, man.
It is. All right, AJ, let's let you guys say goodbye so you can enjoy your time at the State Fair and your Shoresy. I would expect to be tagging Shoresy in some of these because this is literally, you guys are living it.
Yeah, this is the no-show. We're here. All right, everyone say bye. Bye, podcast. All right, we'll send more pictures of Natalie's adventures. Bye, podcast.
Make sure you tag Blue Squatch on all of Natalie's adventures. I want to see the trip.
We will do. We'll be here for 6, 7 more hours. Oh, my God. 6, 7.
Hey, fellas.
Run the ball. More. See you guys.
More. Oh, my goodness. That was amazing. And now we'll finally see John. We haven't really heard John speak yet. I think he can.
I can. I'm watching our boy Max Buren playing up in Canada right now.
So where's he playing?
So we had he's playing with the SAS Select. So he actually left late Friday night, early Saturday. Played 2 games on Friday with us, and then went up to Ontario to go play in the Prezi. So he's been playing up there all week. So boys been watching him.
Nice. I watched
his first kind of taste of real north of the border ball, and he's got a goal, at least a goal in every one of their games. So he's balling out.
Oh, that's impressive. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that Allegheny game. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, kind of a bummer. We were pulling for him. They got a former King. Jimerson played with us one summer, and then Fraser's in Electric Factory. So was a little bummed they lost, but happy for Lintz and the boys up in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
It
cool
was a
for
sick
that
game.
club. Yeah, it was a good game. At least they came back. The beginning looked a little rough. I was like, man, I'm not sure what's going to happen with those guys. But yeah, no. So you guys have them up at the Prezi. You guys have had a Pragle play. You guys are everywhere. I mean, so run us around. What is the usual year for Wheat Kings as far as do you go to Prague every year, or is that just something you guys do occasionally?
So last year was the first year of it. We hope to make a tradition out of it. We are everywhere. Everyone wants to be a king, so it's
Yes,
pretty
I
easy
love
to kind of spread the lineage. But no, so Prago played. I played with him. Me and Nappy played with him at a tournament in Montreal a couple years ago. Stayed close with him. He came with us out to Vegas. We won that tournament. Kind of dog walked everybody. So for the championship, we were like, combine all the other teams. We'll play them. Still won by 7. And then Ainsley had a great time with it. He's a king for life. I know his dad helps out with some of the Blue Squatch stuff. He's the man, though. I mean, that dude. I cannot think of anybody. Well, actually, there's one person who smiles bigger when he plays lacrosse, and it's Will McKinney. But Ainsley's a blast, dude. And yeah, he was actually going to play with us this summer. Kind of got scummed by the Spirits. Got on their roster, was kind of promised a little bit. Then they didn't even travel with them. Kind of weird though, because like they scored 3, 4 total goals. They could have used a good lefty. So that kind of gave us a little bit of extra momentum in that game. I'm not gonna lie, because the fact that they kind of took Ainsley from us and then didn't even bring him to nationals didn't sit right with the Kings. So if it looked like we were running up the score late in that game, we were.
Fun fact: our defense alone beat the Spirits 5-4.
Hang on. So you guys I'm guessing you had 5 transition goals. Who scored in that game?
Myself, Jack Stone, Steve Schomer, T. Nelly, and Will McKinney.
McKinney had 2 actually, yeah. So
you don't count as a defensive guy, Will. I don't care I don't care what door you walk out of. I'm not counting you as a defensive guy.
Between the legs, first shot.
I'm a transition guy. Transition guy.
All right. I mean, I guess I can give you that, but I'm not counting you as a defensive goal. I'm not giving you that one. I've seen you, the highlight goals you have, like the dunks you flying through the air. I was just going through the clips. I wish I had more time. Plus, I mean, I couldn't just post a million Kings highlights all at once, so we did try to get a few of them out there.
You could.
Yeah. Did you play basketball?
I never played basketball. No.
Why do you ask, Greg?
Because he jumps for days. Like the airtime you get when you're dunking, I mean, honestly, that's it. I mean, we can go into everything else too, but I would say it's the airtime.
Yeah, football. That's all. That's my whole background. I didn't start playing lacrosse until I was in like 10th grade. I was a big football player since I was about 6 years old. So that's all I played. Played football, ran track, then got into lacrosse late and fell in love with it.
All right, so
I'm going to take this moment. I'm taking this moment to get kind of on my first soapbox of the night. Will McKinney is the perfect example of like Kings culture. On every team he's ever been on, he's been the leading scorer or the second leading scorer. He's been an offensive juggernaut his whole life. We ask him to come out the back door in most games, and he just says, "All right, bet, let's do it," and still finds ways to help the team. Like on our squad, we have guys as young as 18. We got a kid who's a graduating high school senior, just won the state championship, going down to play D1 out at St. Joe's. And we've got Corbin Tao, who's a 8-year NLL alum, who's 38 years old. We're all best friends. We all do whatever it takes to help the team. Will McKinney's like the biggest example, testament to that Kings culture. And we wouldn't be here without him. So I got to put on for my boy, number 0, man. Like, I fucking love this dude. And the fact that, again, he's able to do whatever it takes, whatever we need, when he's used to being the guy scoring all the goals, like, it's a huge testament to his character and, like, what this team's all about.
He's a highlight machine for me. You are definitely one of my favorite. Like, I know going out to nationals, I'm just going to get some flying goals. So I'm guessing, what were you, receiver, safety? What did you play in football?
Yeah, you got it. Receiver and quarterback.
Ah,
two.
All right, I can see that. You're definitely, and maybe that's the vision as you're coming up the floor because you that kind of when to take it in, when to go around, when to force. It's great. You are. I say it all the time. My favorite part about going to nationals is getting to see guys, and your highlight reel is always one of my favorites. Like yeah. I know I'm going to get at least a handful of flying goals from you, and I definitely look forward to it. I do have to say the cheering section you guys brought. How did you guys get to Milwaukee? Bus flying?
Pretty much everyone drove. We carpooled most of the guys. We had a few guys who had either already left for school or don't even live in Minnesota who flew in for it. So like we had a guy, Gabe Spears, he's down in Indiana, met him at a tournament. He came out, got 2 games in Nebraska with us, and then joined us for nationals. Tinelli, he's was his high school coach with Golds actually at the Blake School. He went to school out in Kenya, and now he got a full-time job down in Dallas. He flew up.
Hang on, we got to talk about
carpooled.
that kid for a minute before we get too far. So as a face-off guy, I don't know a lot of people's names when I'm out there. Like McKinney, obviously, I'm going to learn his name because he's flying through the air and getting goals. But I mean, the fire that kid brings, and so how old is he? Because he seems to have a very good IQ as far as when to push, when to shoot, when not to.
Yeah. No, Tinelli's the man. He's just out of college now, so probably 23, 24. Was his high school coach. Coming into his freshman year of high school, he was actually a goalie. And we had an All-American faceoff guy who ended up getting suspended at a school dance, and like a week before the season started.
Only a week, King.
Like, hey, yeah. We were like, no. So this guy, but this guy was an All-American. He was committed to Syracuse at the time. And a week before the season, we lose our All-American faceoff guy. And we're like, hey, who's going to step up? He raised his hand. He's like, I'll try it. Put the work in, ended up being, an All-American at Kenyon. He was a multi-time All-Conference All-American guy. I think an NCAA record holder for faceoff percentage. Like, he's an absolute dog. But his senior year in high school, when Goltz and I coached him, that might have been a year before Goltz got to Blake.
Yeah, I didn't get the pleasure of coaching him.
I'm gonna give him credit anyway. Goltz taught him everything actually on how to face off. But no, he legitimately, and like I'm not just like gassing this guy up or pumping his tires for nothing. He took every single face off of that season. He was on our man up team. After he would take the face off, we'd sub him off onto attack, and then he also played on our man down unit. Like he is the definition of a dog. He is the ultimate like kind of bucking this trend of face-off guys being incapable on other areas of the floor or the field. He can play offense, he can play defense, and like he's a competitor, man. So I absolutely love that kid. One of my favorite people I've ever coached. And like now, again, kind of going back to that, like he's now a young adult with longtime girlfriend and a full-time job, and like it's been pretty cool to see him grow up because that dude just gets it, man.
Yeah, an absolute savage out there. Like the way he plays, he's fun. Your team is very entertaining to watch. Yeah, you guys are great. Like it's just high pressure the whole time. And Tony is who I give credit to saying it, pressure is everything. It'll turn you into diamonds or dust. I mean, that's something I'm guessing you guys practice a lot is just high pressure situations.
Big time, all the time. And it's something we try to make things as game applicable as possible. So I'm gonna put on for Goltz now. So like me and him are kind of like leaders in this new movement of kind of the modern way of coaching. Some people call it ecological dynamics. Some people call it the constraints-led approach. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The wine was flowing before this podcast, so I'm gonna be ranting a lot. But the whole idea is around as coaches, you kind of can manipulate the environment to teach what you're trying to teach. Instead of just repping things out in a drill on cones or on air, you are manipulating the kind of the dynamics of a small-sided game so you can get what you want out of it, and you can teach those principles in like live gameplay. And we were, kind of talking to each other about it. We're like, shit, we do this all the time when we're coaching. Let's do it in practice. And I think it's been really cool. And I think it's been a huge evolution of what we've done the last probably 2 summers, but really this year, because it makes it to where everything kind of becomes a like game-like situation, a small-sided game. So if we're trying to teach something, it's not us yelling at, Corbin, for example, or a All-American Division I guy or whatever. Like it's here's the rules of this game. If you do what we're trying to get you to do, you can win this game. And this game is going to heavily apply to specific situations we're working on. Like we did a lot of contested catch one-on-one, a lot of like 3+1 versus 3 drills, a lot of simulated transition where guys were able to go based on where the ball was on the floor. And if you watch those games, like, again, I give massive credit to Goltz for kind of pushing this and pushing me in this area because we simulated every single situation we saw. And we did it with a small-sided game at practice where we were playing, what now, I don't care like what Jobson or anyone else says, you can't deny it. The best offense in America was going against the best defense in America every single week in practice. And we were working on, simulated transition offense, simulated transition defense, our 6-on-5, our 5-on-4, all these different situations. And we were so ready for those games, not because we like repped everything out a million times, but because we rep things out, a couple dozen times in a super game like situation. So I think that's been the biggest difference between us in the last 2 summers. We've really changed how we practice, and we've really been extremely intentional about working through different situations in these kind of small-sided games or these like dynamic environments. So I owe that a lot to Goltz for pushing me in this area. I think it's a topic that we're super excited to talk about and that we preach a lot as coaches. And then to actually get to be in those environments in a practice and compete against some of the best guys in the country, it's a ton of fucking fun.
Yeah, I would say that's easy. AJ, you're back.
Oh, I'm back.
He's back. He's back.
I got nervous. Did you get thrown out of the state fair?
We did. Well, no, we're still in here. We found a quiet spot. The boys are getting some honey hot pizza balls. So on a stick.
Explain.
So they're hot honey pizza balls, but they put it on a stick because it's a state fair. It's from Green Mill. That's all I know.
Everything's on a stick at the state fair. That's what they do. You put it on a stick and you deep fry it.
Okay, so it's literally a piece of pizza and with honey inside of it?
Yeah, and it's like a ball. So it's mashed up into a little ball. And they throw it on a stick.
I understand this.
Hey, it's got like 100-person line, and they're in the back of it. So I'll be here for a little bit.
All right, Tony has also joined us if we see Tony Gray at all. Tony, what did you think as a board member? You're watching the 4th year of Nationals. Must have been pretty cool to really see the parity. I will say one thing. I knew when Brian got hit in the balls the game before, right at the end, I was like, ooh, that is going to make things rough. And it wasn't too far into the game. Somebody took a shot. He dropped down and took another one. And you guys got a lot of guys that shoot hard. I mean, that is one thing in this league. There is a lot of guys that fire.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things that I really noticed was the number of shooters. Like usually when you're in the league, like the handful of guys that can let it rip. But in this tournament, like everybody had at least a handful of guys that could just stretch the floor, right? And so that was really cool to see, and that makes it harder to defend because now the space is bigger to defend, right? I thought all the teams are continuing to get better. Obviously, the Wheat Kings was the best this year, right? They wanted the more, and they got the more. But I was really impressed with the play. Really looking at the evolution from year 1 to year 4. Like this, in the first year, I talked about like if there was a penalty down, it wasn't always a given that the goalie was gonna go to the bench to get a 6-on-5. That wasn't a given. Right now, what's not a given is you got a defender going down the floor, and the offensive guy is right behind him with the ball. What is the defender doing? He's blowing that defender. He's blowing up the new defender out of the way so the offensive guy can go 1-on-0. We weren't seeing that even last year consistently. That's another evolution of this game. We're starting to see all the subtleties. The bench. There was obviously some fast breaks. Wheat Kings, you got mad respect to you guys, got some wheels, man. But it wasn't because of substitutions. It was just you guys have flat out speed. There was some, but not as much as normal. So for the league standpoint, we're super excited to see all these teams becoming true box teams, right? I think I could probably count the number of field lacrosse helmets on my 2 hands, which That's not always the case. That's another little subtle sign, right? So, but you guys, I apologize for coming on late. I thought we started at 8:45. My apologies.
No,
So.
and we even went early too. The Wheat Kings, that's just how they are. More. They got me excited and amped up. I couldn't wait to go live. I was like, we're rolling as soon as we get a chance. So, yeah, no, that was on us. Yeah, more.
I really, Midball, I give you hats off to you guys and the Wheat Kings on the gameplay of that. I could tell right off the bat, you guys were just pressing out on them. You were going to let them shoot, but not the way they wanted to shoot. And it was like, I wasn't on the commentating, but I was trying to run over to them and let them know, hey, look, here's what they're trying to do right there. Because the Wilds, they only need about 10 seconds to get a good quality shot off. And you did not even let them get to 10. I even talked to the Wild afterwards, and I said, I have never seen your team sweep so much in my whole career. They're in our league, and that's hats off to you guys because you were just making them run out of positions. And, they were getting shots, but not the way they wanted, which is hats off to you. And your offense was very slick and concise. You didn't let them form their wall, the 3-man game. You were either slashing through the middle or you were just taking a guy right out of the way so you get a 2-on-2 or even a 1-on-1. So, I'm a big coach in the game, right? So I was watching all these little game within the game. So hats off to you. That was
I appreciate that. Well, Tony, you touched on it. Like their shooting is pretty incredible. Obviously, yes, the box lacrosse IQs from all these teams and abilities to run 2- and 3-man games and the ability to run different defenses like a wall has gone up dramatically over the past couple of years of the league. But the Wild shooting has always been kind of their superpower, right? And we actually talked a lot about this season where, in the past, we've been so focused on in our regional play, like let's get to these 9 and 10 scoring opportunities, right? Like they're 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 scoring opportunities. But sometimes in nationals, you've got to just be able to hit 7s. So we talked about that a lot in our regular season. At the risk of demonetizing Blue Squash, we said we got to fuck 7s. The bar's closing. Like we got to be able to hit 7s. And because I think the Wild do that so much better than any other team. And even in that game, like going into the fourth quarter, we were up, I think 7-2. Late in that game, we're up 9 or 10 to 3 or 4. And we were telling our guys, like, look, this is not over. We cannot stop the pressure. If they get their hands free and they're inside, as soon as they get over that timeline, they're a threat to score. Because those guys can shoot the absolute cover off the ball. And they do such a good job of like getting to those spots and just letting it fly and seeing what happens. We're lucky now that we've got a guy in Bacon that can stop a lot of those shots. But we were telling our defenders, like, it doesn't matter. We got to pressure them. And like, yeah, we wanted to play the wall. Yeah, we wanted to protect the inside. But we knew against a team like that, and even the Spirits the night before, if we're not picking these guys up first and like being the ones who initiate contact, they have a ton of skill and a ton of ability to shoot the ball. Let's just make it easy. Let's use our depth. Let's use our athleticism. We're picking them up as soon as they get across, and we're not going to let them settle in and get comfortable and get into their sets. And like, huge shout out to our D-door in that game. They were relentless.
I think that a lot goes to really, you brought out 36 guys, and the energy you guys had out there at the end though was just impressive. I mean, not everybody. I love. You're doing pink shots out of Natalie now. That can't be good
purple. Adam Thielen's back, but you continue. You were making good points.
I forgot what I was even saying.
We brought 36.
Yes.
So I've seen this chatter. I've seen shout outs and I've seen people upset about it. Look, man, we told our guys before the tournament, actually, we told our guys before the season, our goal is to win the national tournament. Coming into last season, we said, look, if we lock in for these 3 months, let's see what we can do. It wasn't enough. We lost the Wildland Championship game. So we said, okay, we saw what June to August can do. Let's see what August to August can do. Let's build to play them and to beat them in the championship in summer 2025. And we told our guys who were signing up for us, and we were kind of recruiting our players throughout the fall and the spring, and then in our early games of the season, we're getting as many guys their 2 games, so they're qualified for nationals. We're playing around with different lineups. And we are building towards winning that game at the end of August at Nationals. And going into the weekend, we told every single person that traveled with us, look, you might only play one game. You might play all 6. You are an important part of the team. We are going to win this tournament because you're on it. It doesn't matter if you're in every single game and you're on our power play group or our penalty kill group in that final game, or if you get one game and you're running and getting waters for the boys. And big shout out again, second one, if anyone's counting, take a shot. Kings culture. Every single person bought into it. And the loudest guys that we had cheering were the guys who only played 1 or 2 games. The guys who we had literally sprinting to go get water bottles were guys who maybe only played a couple of the pool play games and they didn't play a single game in the tournament round. We had AJ, who's like the heart and soul of our team, emotional leader. He's a captain. He didn't play in the finals. He ran a door for us because we knew we needed speed. So we got him in the semifinal game. He's a big body. He's a good instigator. He was able to draw some penalties, lay some body on the Spirits guys. And then we had Ross, who's one of our faster, kind of rangier defenders, in for the championship game. In the semifinal, Ross gets scratched, and he ran the door better than I've ever seen anybody run a door with more energy than I've ever seen. AJ did the same thing for the championship when he came out of that lineup.
John Henry Currington, first team all door. Shout out.
Shout out guys like Chico. Like we had so many
Jeopardy? I thought I was the all NLL door guy.
we have so many studs. And but again, the guys were just looking, what can I do to help? And I know we had a couple of guys who are maybe without a doubt upset. Everybody here is a competitor. Everybody on our team is a really good player who's used to being one of the better players on their teams, whether that's their college team, their men's league team, their high school team, whatever it is. But we had everybody bought in and aligned to one mission, and they legitimately didn't care if they played 1 game or 6. We got a guy on this call, John, who was coming into the season kind of most improved player last year. He's going to OCC next year. Guy's probably going to end up at Syracuse. You're going to see him with a blonde braid in a couple of years. This guy is an absolute dog. 2 weeks into our season, he tears his knee up in men's league, and he's rolling around in a wheelchair until he breaks the wheelchair doing a bunny hop, trying to get over the ledge in nationals. And he's walking around on crutches with our 2 other IR guys holding him. Every single person was bought in. Yeah, it was close to us or whatever, but we had to take planes, trains, automobiles to get to freaking Utica last year. So we knew as soon as it was announced that Nationals was in Milwaukee, we're bringing 40 guys, and we're going to figure out a way to make sure every single person knows that they are a part of it. We platoon guys. Corbin Tao played, I think, 3 games in the entire weekend. He played 1 game per day, and he was like, damn, I'm feeling good on Sunday. We only had 3 or 4 guys who played in all 6 games. Everybody else soaked a rest game, whether or not they wanted to. And on their rest game, they figured out a way to help the team in another way. So, I mean, I see McKinney nodding his head, but that's just kind of what guys like him and AJ and Gold, all the dudes on this call, even a lot of the guys you haven't seen, have brought to the table. We've got another guy. I'll give him another shout out here. I'll go on another soapbox. Ty Burden. So he's coming in. He's a UMass kid, Division I guy, high school All-American. This kid's a stud. He kind of messed up his ankle in our last game in Minnesota. Shut her down for the season, but he was like, I still want to come. Can I still come and run a door and help out? He comes out, and he's probably the loudest guy we have on the sideline. So for all the talk about all the guys we didn't have a couple of key guys in the lineup, but even still, guys like him and guys like John were like, I still want to help. I still want to be a part of this. Let's ride.
Awesome.
And I do have a list. Hold on. I have a list. So for everybody who's like, oh, the Kings traveled so well. The Kings weren't missing guys. We were missing guys. I'm going to read a list of 9 people who did not play in the national tournament, who we had either qualified or ready to be qualified. Gus Bell, probably the best player in the entire league. He's going to be a starting attackman at Army. Ty Burton, starting LSM at UMass. Drew Stocko, high school state champion, St. Joe's attackman. John Claypool, he's going to OCC. Will Foster, field helmet guy, Tony, from last year, if you remember him. He'll be back. He's playing college basketball. We had a guy, Max, who's playing in the Prezi. His game's going on right now. He left after our Friday games to go play up in the Prezi. We got Matt Hudson, who's an All-American kid who's playing at Colorado College. Brady Grandstaff, who's a starter at the University of Utah. Eric Turner, who couldn't make it down because, he's the captain of the freaking Coquitlam Adanacs and wasn't able to miss a game as they were trying to make a WLA run. So we had 9-10 guys right there who will be back for next summer. And, we brought 36, but shit, next year we might bring 42.
Non-bozo list.
More. We might bring more.
So where's the cup been in the last 3 days? I know it's at the state fair right now, but where else has it traveled thus far?
Bars.
You may have already talked about it.
A lot of bars. So we went to Bobby Fest in Wisconsin. I don't know what Bobby Fest is, but we run it now.
And at Bobby
there were a
Fest,
bunch of
we did a lot of this at Bobby Fest.
There were a lot of jilfs drinking out of the trophy. We're very popular with the over 50 women crowd at Bobby Fest. Then we had a couple guys who kind of DD'd back to Minneapolis, so they had to get their fun in. So we took it out to the bars down in Minneapolis Sunday night. Surprisingly, the bar scene was not the greatest on Sunday, so we had to take it out Monday. Did a little happy hour with the team. That's when I handed over custody to AJ. And then AJ, I don't think the trophy has left his side since. And then he took her to the fair today. We're gonna do a boat party on Lake Minnetonka. We're gonna try to get it out to some of our college guys. Let them take it to maybe they'll go to a frat party or two or the Lax House. I think by the time I get it back, there will be a few bumps and bruises on it, but that just makes it more special.
I like how he knows exactly how to drink out of it too. Like he just twists it. He's like, right here's the spot I want to drink out of it. I'm gonna spin it right there, and yeah. But we've got some people in the background here. We haven't even seen on the stream yet. So like Goltz, where'd he go? Because he didn't talk at all.
We got the honey balls. We got the honey balls.
That looks delicious.
Big Dow.
Goltz
How do
is
you like the
still
honey
here.
ball?
I've been here the whole time.
Hang on, I gotta get a review on the honey ball first.
7-1.
7-1.
7-1.
We're going to
The honey pulls weight. The honey does a lot.
It sounds delicious.
It's actually not on a stick, it turns out.
Yeah. I don't eat things on sticks, so that's amazing.
Oh my God. Coming? No, I'm good.
All right, without getting too distracted here. So you guys talked about the coaching and how you kind of changed philosophy. Goltz, where did you say you picked up a lot of this stuff from? Was it just you and Midbo working together, or how did you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think Midbo and I, long time back, we met men's league. Our men's league team, Backdoor Bandits, put together a men's league team. We got McKinney was on that team. We're trying to scramble to put together players, and all of a sudden I get this text from this guy, Nick Midbo. Oh, I played at Farmington, blah, blah, blah. It gives me his resume. I'm like, honestly, in my mind, I mean, I played at Stevenson. For me, I thought that was pretty cool at the time, so my ego was through the roof, and I was like, who's this bozo trying to come and play with men's league? Sure, we need a roster spot. Dude shows up to one game. I don't see him again. And then the next summer, the Wheat Kings needed a door guy. And so I come out and be the door guy. And then kicked off ever since. So, but yeah, me and Midbo, since then, we've really I don't know what clicked or what, but I've been the Gronk to his Brady. All right, bad boys for life. We ain't going nowhere. We bounce ideas off each other 24/7. He was stealing some concepts from basketball, and so I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, let's look at this. And then we start finding out this Alex Sarama guy. We're always challenging each other's drills. It could be as simple as one year we went to Indiana for a tournament. Airbnb happened to have a chessboard in there. The first thing we do is play chess, see who is better at chess. I won't throw them under the rug and say who won that game, but we're always challenging.
Yeah, but who smoked you? Who smoked you in Connect 4 in Pittsburgh?
Doesn't count. doesn't count. Connect Four is a bozo game. Belongs on the bozo list. Yeah, no. So we're just always challenging each other. And like he said too, like mimicking gameplay too. Back to what you said, Greg, about like our physicality, mimicking that. I showed up a little late to our pre-nationals practice. First rep in, Ian Obert just absolutely obliterates me on a pick from this blindside
Car crash.
Pick, obliterates me, car crash. That set the tone for today's practice. And it was as simple as me walking up or getting up, dapping Ian up and be like, all right, that's how practice is going to be. And that's how practice was. And practice was intense. We had a very intense practice, and then we bring it out to nationals, and we were intense from the get-go. And it's just me and Midbow constantly challenging each other, constantly bringing the juice wherever it is. If we're playing against each other, playing for each other, hanging out in the Airbnb, we're challenging each other 24/7. And that's and now we get the result that we got because of it, and we're exactly where we wanted to be.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. So I mean, when everybody's competitive like that, that's kind of the way things tend to work out. I mean, you see the talent you guys have on your team. I'm terrible with names. That was it, Jack Taco, I think. 70, the kid with the field
hair
bucket.
Out the room.
Oh my goodness,
Hair out the room.
that kid. You talk about passion though, like the fire that young man brings. What's he like in practice? He's got to be fun out there.
Dog. Yeah, he's an intense guy. I think he's a dog. I think he's part of the Golds coaching tree. I feel like Golds coached him at some point.
Yeah. So Jack Taco. I went to Prior Lake High School. Two other players on our team, former Prior Lake alum Brian Kahlberg on defense, and then Jack Taco. Me and Jack go way back to when he was probably 14. Started coaching with him then. I think McKinney's also coached him at club. He's probably spent more time coaching Taco than I have, but yeah, I've known the Taco family for quite some time. I mean.
So Will and you have been coaching together for how long?
I've been coaching since freshman year of college, so 11, 12 years now. Yeah, and Taco was on my third year of coaching group, so I've been coaching that guy for a long time.
You got a decade of coaching just him.
Yeah, and his little brother, who's hopefully soon to also be a Wheat King, he arguably is more of a dog than Jack Taco. So the Tacos, one thing about them is they've always got something to say. They've always got something to say, and they're some of the funniest kids in the room. But when they step on that field, they know how to ball, and they just want it. So they fit that kind of Wheat Kings culture that we all have. They fit right in, and we love to hype up Taco because he'll do some egregious celebrations and some questionable things, and we're all for it. We want the league to post it. The league won't post it, but it's fun for us. But
yeah, he was a little frustrated that he hadn't found the net. I mean, he's like a big time scorer, good player.
Correct.
When he scored, what was it, in our Saturday afternoon game? I think he hit every single celebration. He was like ripping every email. He hit like 6 or 7 different celebrations. Yeah, dude, he's the man. And then he sends me this. So we have a banner that we put up after every one of our regional championships. It says the tradition continues. And it's got a tally mark on it for every one of our regional championships. I don't know if it'll focus, but on the other side of his national championships. And we finally put the first tally on it this weekend. First of many, we want more. But he was like, "Oh, that's sick, dude." And I was like, "Yeah, you want it?" And he goes, "Dude, I'll hang it above my bed." So he sends in the group. He went straight from nationals to Maryville, where he's going to school. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm unpacked," and sends a picture of the banner. So he's hanging it up. He's got the reminder of kind of like what it meant to be a part of this team. I know it's going to motivate him. He's a dog, so he's kind of intrinsically motivated to just ball out anyway. But we're really excited to get him back. Hopefully, get his brother back, and he's gonna absolutely rip it up down in Maryville. He's an absolute dog.
Yeah, no, you got that. Seems to be the theory of your team. So, Will, how many of these other kids have you coached, or young men?
Jack might be the only one that I've coached.
So Will's acting like Mr. Humble right now. So he doesn't maybe have a lot of the coaching accolades. He runs the 3-time Minnesota men's field league champion team, the Mallards, and I think we've got a handful of guys on that team: Sammy Lewis, Harris. Yep. He's gonna potentially and finally invite Golds to play on that team this summer. We'll see.
AJ's our coach / beer man as well. So he shows up, he gets the boys hydrated and gets us going and rolling. So that's our dedicated beer guy. Goltz has been trying to be a Mallard forever. We got to get him on the squad.
Well, how long do you have to run before you actually get tired?
He doesn't. I can tell you right now, he doesn't.
Nowadays, I get tired. Back when I was like 24, 25, now I got to come off and get shifts off. Midbo might have to yell at me a couple of times if I go up and down too many times, but that's more than fair. No, I like to run, obviously, but that just, again, back testament to our team. We all like to run. A big person that I see taking my role over, so I don't have to run as much now, is Jack Stone. You see him this weekend. Holy shit, that guy is a dog. First year
number
guy,
15.
Number 15, Jack Stone, white face mask. We give him a lot of shit for the white face mask, but he loves it.
Again, a defender that I know his name. There's so many guys out there, but I remembered him. 15 out there. He's a like you said, a dog. Sums it up best.
100%.
Yeah.
St. Thomas alumni, was an absolute monster at St. Thomas for them. He bleeds that Kings culture like Midbo always talks about. He is high scoring midfielder for St. Thomas for 3 years straight. Offensive guy, didn't play much defense. We add him to the team. Hey, we got a spot in transition for you. We think you'll fit in. He buys in immediately and just dogs through that role. He is. I love Jack Stone. He's an all around just good dude. Gets up and down the floor.
I think pretty good pick to be the heir to the Will McKinney throne, because kind of similar role, right? Offensive guy his whole life. Said, we got a spot for you, kind of coming out that D door. We think you can give us a spark in transition, make the right reads, make the right plays, but we want to use your athleticism. He's like, oh, sick. I've never played defense, but let's go. Shout out to Ian for bringing him to the squad. Ian, so he went to grad school at St. Thomas this past spring. They actually had their national championship down in Texas, so me and the family got to go out and watch him win an MCLA national championship. I think he even wore the undershirt in our national championship game. Oh, this kid's hyped. We got a future Wheat King. But yeah, so it's Ian's turn. I think he wore the MCLA national championship shirt, said it's time to go get another one. Has a hat trick in our national championship game. With all the talent we have on our squad, like, I think he was the only guy who scored more than 2 goals. But he brought Will Junker, another guy who I think is going to be a huge addition on our defense. Didn't play a lot this past weekend. Kind of still figuring out the box game. He's going to be a massive part of like the kind of future core of our D as some of these guys age out. And then he brought Jack Stone, but he obviously brought himself. So, Ian, a guy who took a massive step forward.
Oh, he's gone.
Massive step forward. Big time goal scorer for us. He's always been a big body, big pick setter, big energy guy. But like the goal scoring prowess was insane this past weekend. And yeah, he was the only guy who had a hattie in the ship. So my dog.
You guys,
love you, Bert.
Everybody scored. You guys really do share the offense well.
So now that you guys are national champions, and now that it switches to defending your championship, and I know you got it all mapped out moving up to this point. Have you already thought about like what you guys are gonna do in the off season? Are you gonna compete together? Obviously, you got some guys in college, so that's gonna change the dynamics of your team, but you got a big squad.
Yeah,
enter in tournaments together and keep them sticks in your hands, like bear paw events and stuff like that.
Tony, I don't know if you heard this at all this past weekend. Yeah, what's our team motto?
More.
There's a lot more. Yeah, so we're gonna have a group down in Nashville. Looking to bring a group out to Prague. We'll bring more of our Kings guys to that one. Last year was our first year going out to like an international tournament. The kind of travel logistics were a hard thing. It's kind of a tough time of year, especially for our guys who coach. So now that we've kind of done that proof of concept, more guys are hungry for it. We'll bring a better squad out to that, kind of compete on the world stage. And then we also run a series of kind of like off-season leagues. So we got our fall winter league will be starting up pretty soon. And then we'll do a spring tournament. Will McKinney, not a big deal, 2-time champs of that one. So, I got a pretty big contingent of guys that are kind of keeping my connection to Minnesota. I'll be coming up quite a bit during the, fall, winter, spring, and then we'll see them at a couple tournaments before next summer. And
so,
then
hang on, explain to
we'll really
everybody who doesn't know that you don't even live in Minneapolis.
Yeah, so me and my family moved down we're in Houston, Texas now, kind of for the day job. Moved down here late last summer. So this was the second nationals flying up from Texas. I've got family in the area. I have 2 sisters and my parents are in Minneapolis. Obviously I've got, 42 of my best friends up there. So I still have a connection to it. The company I work for is headquartered there. So I've got a lot of excuses and a lot of reasons to kind of come back and keep that connection. I, grew up there, born and raised, lived there for 10 years, like after college. That'll always be home to me, but we're down here in Texas, living it up here, and then coming up for games and seeing the boys at some of the off-season stuff we do.
How far is that?
He's a Sky Miles merchant.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty short when you're taking, direct Delta flights. But no, I'm going to hit Diamond Medallion this year. Not a big deal. Looking for any reason to come back up and see the fellas, see the family, and continue to kind of grow the game. I can't remember who said it. I think it was AJ at the beginning. Minnesota's not a hotbed by any stretch of the imagination, but there's some pretty damn good box lacrosse played, at kind of the youth and high school levels. We have a very robust youth box scene where like the associations will all play in a box league that is kind of partially ran by Ryan Ward, like literally Canada Lacrosse Hall of Famer. And then we've got some really good high school programs, North Stars nationally competitive, True's nationally competitive, Team MN's nationally competitive. We have 3 or 4 different clubs. Loons is kind of one of those regional, they're winning all those regional tournaments and stuff. Like we have 4 clubs that are very competitive in the box game. And we have a ton of really good goalies. I think it's one thing Minnesota's never going to get credit for. But if you look at, who we brought Shane, who was a gold medalist for Team Canada. Andrew, he played with us last year. He plays for the Blue Shirts. Team USA guy. Beck, who was our backup. He plays with the Isotopes. Kind of the only reason they're ever even close with us. He won a gold medal with Team USA this year. We've got 3, 4, 5 goalies here that know how to play. We've got a really robust box scene. And so to continue to be a part of that growth and development, like Minnesota's always going to be home. And, there's a lot of pride and a lot of excitement about, some of the best lacrosse in the United States is played there. And it's, again, like, glad to be a part of that,
We kind of glossed over your goalie there, but Canadian Bacon freezing as I thought that was hilarious when your wife told me. She's like, yeah, Canadian Bacon is what we call him. I was like, that's amazing. I will remember that one.
Shano.
But
Bacon is the man.
The arc he's allowed to play from the pressure. Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. And I saw chiropractor, so he's the oh, there he is. Can't hear him.
What do we got here? Who is this?
It's Taco.
Taco.
Oh, what up, Taco? Oh, there's the banner we talked about, too. Look at this dog.
That's amazing.
Not even speaking.
What up, Taco? Speak your truth.
Show the banner.
Taco, speak.
Show the banner.
Hey, let's go. That's a much clearer view of it. Taco, say something real quick. We're about to start glazing Shano, so hurry up.
Do you see the banner here?
Yeah.
First thing you unpack.
Taco, say something.
Oh, dude, the stream's behind on my phone here.
Yeah, 30 seconds, bud. Live stream is always 30 seconds behind.
We balled out. That's all I got to say. The boys were buzzing. That's all she wrote. The young guns had some fun. We were airing trips out. It was a great time.
Yes.
Air it out one more time for us.
Always. I'll be back same time next year, right? Right, McKinney?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Same time next year.
Run it back. Run it back.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So offense was obviously buzzing, but D side was buzzing, and then goalie's buzzing. So Shano, Yeah, so that's actually a nickname that comes from his childhood. He would be late to practice routinely because he was busy eating bacon in the locker room. And apparently one time he rolled out during a shooting drill, sprinted onto the floor with a plate of bacon, set it behind him, made a couple saves, and then took his glove off to eat bacon. So, I thought it was like something to do with his name, like freezing, like something about like kind of sounds like fry. I don't know, but apparently it literally is just the dude loves bacon. But you wouldn't know it looking at him because that boy is cut. He's actually yoked up. I think he might be the fittest goalie I've ever seen. You said, yeah, some of the pressure allows him to play the high arc, but I think like his athleticism allows him to play the high arc.
It's like
He's
Matt
not
Vince.
the tallest guy. Yeah, he's not the tallest guy, but I'm not gonna say he's not the biggest guy because that boy is big. We were out in Prague. He came with us. This was after the tournament. We were a few drinks deep, and all of a sudden he just pops his tarp off in the middle of the dance circle and starts hitting the front double buys. Like Shano is the man. He's a ball of energy. We absolutely love him on the squad. So he's here for chiropractor school. I mentioned that there's I guess, internationally kind of renowned chiropractor school here, and that's become kind of a pipeline for us. A couple years ago, we had Derek Lloyd. He was with the Vancouver Warriors for a while. Now he plays with Victoria Shamrocks. I think he's trying to get back in the NLL. He was here for chiropractor school. A summer and a half he played with us. There's another couple of guys, like some guy, just a pickle. He plays on the Blue Shirts. He played with us in Prague. His brother just got done playing with the Bounties up in Alberta. Like, I guess there's a strong Canadian pipeline. So we might just post up a Wheat Kings booth at this chiropractor school and just recruit from there because they've been good to us, man. And Shano might be the best product from this crew because that dude, again, not only is he a fantastic goalie, fantastic person, one of the most fun guys to hang out. My last kind of glaze bacon story. See what I did there. He was playing in one of our off-season tournaments, and between games, he was literally studying on his computer. He'd pull up full goalie gear still on, and he'd be looking at like how cancer attacks cells and how he can, just like the physical. Like, I don't even know what he was studying, but he was studying some complicated metaphysical, biological, whatever, literally between games. And then he'd be like, oh, we're on? Okay, let me throw my gear on, hit save on this PowerPoint deck. And then he'd roll out and go have 50 saves. Like, fantastic person, fantastic kid. He was the MVP of that championship game. But like, I mean, it was no surprise to any one of us. We love that kid.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to tell you now, since you shared the chiropractor thing, we got some long hours working that tournament. You guys next year, if you're in nationals, you might be the last game of the night so that we can get some free chiropractic services.
Get some chiropractic work?
I'll do the blame of it. If you're saying, oh, why do I got the 10 o'clock game? It's because of Tony.
I like it. It was, goalie really is, I think, what separates great teams from good teams. If you don't have somebody that you can shoot on to make you a better shooter and to backstop you when you need it. But, I mean, the practice aspect of it is just as important as the games because if you're not training on somebody that's that good all the time. Yeah, you guys do have a pretty good history of goalie play, though. And really, most of the teams at Nationals, pretty much all the teams, really, you have to have a goalie that the problem is sometimes goalies are streaky. Something you guys don't seem to run into.
Yeah, no, you have to have a good one to make a deep run in it. It helps tremendously, in practice. Talked about the wild shooters like Brian, who's been the goalie of the first 3 national champions. Fantastic goalie, right? He gets tested every day by those good shooters, and then he's testing those good shooters every day. We're lucky enough. We got Shane in practice. We got guys like Beck and Andrew who we're shooting on in our regular season games. And they make us better shooters. I think that's the biggest thing that kind of gets lost in translation when people always talk about, oh, you got to play box lacrosse. Box lacrosse makes you better. They're not as often talking about the fact that you get live shooting reps on goalies safely hundreds of times in a practice. And that's where you see those things like the delayed releases, the deceptive shoulders, the different swing angles, like all of the nuances of being an elite goal scorer, not just an elite shooter, comes from getting to shoot on good goalies in practice in a safe way. and we put a lot of shots on Shano in our practices. Maybe sometimes he'll say maybe too many. But again, we're lucky that we have guys like that to shoot on in our regular season games too.
Yeah, 100%.
It's literally the only reason we ever play close games is because Beck and Andrew are pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean you don't make it to the finals. So that Blue Shirts team that is affiliated
fell off a cliff this year. What happened?
I mean, but that was
they were.
All right, fill me in.
Yeah, so okay, I got you. So a few years ago, we had the Minnesota Freeze, and that team was really good for two reasons. Andrew Williams, their goalie, and Will McKinney. We brought both of those guys with us to nationals in 2023, the year it was in Columbus. McKinney had such a good time with us that he's like, I'm never playing for another team again. And then Andrew ended up going to play in the Colorado College Box League. So the Freeze team kind of fell apart. So we were rolling into the season with like no opponents in 24. 24. No, 23. I'm a year ahead. So 22 was in Columbus. That was where McKinney, kind of the final stand of the Freeze. So before the season started, I created an alias. I became Big Ed Thompson. We found this random name, and me and Tony made this Instagram account for the St. Paul Blue Shirts that were taking on the legacy of this team from St. Paul from the 1800s. And we created this whole backstory to make a team to trick people into signing up so we had somebody to play against. So we didn't have to have a Seattle Kings situation where we had a league with one team in it. And or Seattle Trees, excuse me. So under this alias, we formed a team of like 25 or 30 guys, went out, had a good time. They were a little surprised to see me at their first practice coaching them, and kind of explained the situation to them. And the mantra was like, look, I want you guys to be a really good second place team. But I'm genuinely here to help grow the game of box lacrosse, get you guys as good as you can be, because we need to see better competition in our local games. Kind of ran the team with Tony that first year. We found a couple guys who wanted to kind of take a more active role in that. So we were able to spin that team off away from us completely. So they kind of were a spinoff that became its own separate entity in the 24 season. They had a really good season in 24. They were able to get into the championship regionally. Beat the Isotopes a couple times. Won, I think, almost all of that. I think they dropped one game to either Iowa or Nebraska, but they had a really successful season, played us in the finals. We beat them like 30 to not a lot. But overall, they had a good building year. This year, they struggled a little bit more. Their guy who's running the team now had his first kid. He obviously had some other priorities come up in life. They had a couple of guys who had some availability challenges and all that. So they had a little bit of a down year, but I think they have started to develop their own kind of unique brand. And whether it's unique, weird, different, whatever, it works for them. So I'm excited, and I anticipate we'll see them kind of back in a more competitive spot. And then, we've got the Isotopes. I don't know if it's like, I'm going to get ahead of the narrative here. Like we were going to talk about them at some point. Greg, I have to remind you though, you said 2 times they won once against us. They are now 1-17. Okay. They have gotten a lot better though. And one thing that was really cool, and I will give them their flowers for, they have a juniors program. It's really honestly all of the players on their team who are good. All of their kind of problem childs and annoying people who suck are all above 21. So they were able to take that juniors team and they absolutely shit pumped everybody on the East Coast. So again, talking about flyover state, non-hotbed area, there's a lot of good box lacrosse players in Minnesota. They throttled the Mass Stallions, the Maine Northmen, the Paper City Oaks, and then I think they beat the Yeti too. So they went 4-0 on that weekend. They're a good team. They kind of got us sleeping in the trap game. Big shout out to them for that though, for kind of making us refocus. Because our eyes were always on winning that national championship game against the Wild, but like they quickly reminded us like, hey, we got to get there first. So we were able to get a little bit more dialed in after that. But they're building their own kind of good program up there too, I think it's fair to say. So like we have, and then Nebraska too. Like they've got some good goaltenders. They got some good players too. I don't even know where this question started, but what I am going to say is like the Midwest region is now pretty friggin' good. And so we were able to be tested along the way a little bit and have to get into doing things the right way and building to play these other teams. And like, when you compare some of the games we had and some of the goalies we faced to like what we see back home, we have 4 goalies in the Midwest that are better than most of the goalies we saw at nationals. You know, Brian fully excluded from that. The Gun Thompson, I don't know what his name is or how to say it for the Spirits. He's a good goalie.
Horn David.
We saw a couple other good goalies, so like I'll give them their shout outs. But like the goalies we see in our regular season games and in our practices are probably 3 of the 10 best goalies in the country.
Yeah, so I mean,
I see Claypool nod his head, so I must have had a point somewhere in there.
Somewhere there.
Would you say the Midwest region is more or less competitive than the Philly Box League?
Based on how Philly finished this weekend, I think so.
Well, the Philly Box League, I don't know anything about. I'm guessing there was something that went over my head.
Yeah, so we have got a friendly rivalry with some of the guys out there that are just, you know, they love to talk about how, you know, Philadelphia, New York, Maryland, Massachusetts plays better lacrosse. And it's like, yeah, like at the high school level, that's obviously true. But they use that to kind of write off what we're doing here in the Midwest. And I think by kicking the shit out of all of those teams all weekend long, and then the team that's finishing routinely second or third in our region goes and does the same thing, I think we're playing some good box in the Midwest.
It's one thing everybody always says, like the hotbed area is supposed to be where we are, and not really so much me, but more by Buffalo, and you get up by Canada. That being said, I think a lot of the guys, they play in that next level. I really want to see you guys play a junior B game. I'm curious to see how you guys do against the Arrows. Like, that's what my goal of it is, though. I've said it about the Wild forever. Yeah. I'd really want to see Brian face a bunch of the Can-Am guys, too. And watch their shooters on those goalies. Someday we're going to get the runner-up to go.
Yeah, so there was that bozo list on another podcast that went around that had some people, you know.
It's kind of hard for me to take serious. Well, you can't take it serious if there's not a kid. If the Allegheny Arrows are not.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. I am very confident about what we are building and what we have built. But those Can-Am teams, like, it's something different, right? And the best players in those areas are playing on those teams. When Chris Kluche is your second offensive option, your team's pretty freaking good. So like some of those Can-Am teams are awesome. Claypool is going to get a firsthand look at that. We've got some connections out there to get him a spot while he's out in New York. And then, you know, I myself went up, and a couple of our guys have gone up to play some senior B games, you know, out in Alberta and out in Saskatchewan. And, you know, we're close. We have the goaltending. We have definitely, I would say, the athleticism, some of the stick skills, some of the shooting, and then some of those kind of nuances that you only get to see in a game situation. We are still playing catch up. But, and it was to Tony's point when he first came on, the strides that American box teams, and specifically the American box teams in our league, the NABLL, have made has been pretty incredible to see, and we are closing that gap quickly. I think, and I genuinely, I know this from experience playing with and against these guys. I think we would be a pretty good senior B team. Do I think we would be competitive in the President's Cup? No, I'm not delusional. But do I think we could beat some of those teams? I think we would play well against most of the Can-Am. I think we would play well against all the Prairie Gold, most of the RMLL, most of the WCSLA. That's a crazy acronym, whatever it is. And do I think we'd be like middle of the pack in the Ontario B League? Like, I think we have the talent, depth, and understanding to be a pretty good senior B team. And that's always been the goal of this program, is to give guys, whether you're going into college to try to win a roster spot, or you're out of college and you still need that competitive outlet. We're going to model this as closely to Canadian Senior B as we can. And we are going to practice like that and have that intention and that take it seriously. It doesn't mean we're not gassing beers in the parking lot after we pump a team. It doesn't mean we're not, having our fun at some of these tournaments, but like winning is fun. Being a good team is fun. Taking things seriously is fun. Practicing hard is fun. Building these relationships with guys from all different walks of life. The fact that an 18-year-old can be good buddies with a 38-year-old who coached him when he was in middle school is pretty incredible. And American box lacrosse is the best it's ever been, and it's only going to continue to get better.
100%.
Yeah, and I can jump on that. Like, our goal right now is to kind of add that next layer. Our next step is add that junior level. Like, we kind of tested the waters this summer. We're going to be a little bit more deliberate about next summer going forward. But it's like the Can-Am. They start, but like I myself played Pee Wee and midgets, and then you worked up juniors.
NABLL, then First Nations.
Like that, right? So there, obviously, if you went over there, you're playing against teams where those guys have played for 12, 14 years before they even get to go against you, where you're kind of starting your box careers as an adult, where they start as a child. So, right. So obviously there is going to be some catch up, but I agree. So we're trying to slowly and deliberately add layers in it so that we can be on par, and in 10, 15 years, this conversation won't be happening. It'll be like, all right, well, who's playing here? U.S. versus Canada, U.S. team versus Canada team. Who do you got winning this today? It's not like, oh, the Canadians are just going to throttle the U.S. guys every time.
Yeah, and Tony, I know that nomenclature trips people up because, like, we call ourselves Senior A, and I agree. Like, this is the best box lacrosse that's being played in America. I'm not talking about, res teams or teams that play in the Can-Am or the Three Nations League or whatever that might be geographically
only the
Can-Am.
Canada. Yeah, that's only the Can-Am.
Yeah. So I understand, like, for when you talk America, Minneapolis, Philadelphia, New York, whatever.
Hands down.
This is the top level of amateur senior lacrosse being played. But it is really, realistically, at its best, it's Senior B Canadian ball. And again, that gap has narrowed so much just in the last 2 or 3 years. I got to give the league a shout out. Like, again, I might be critical, but I'm realistic. The resources you guys have been able to put out, the intention behind ref development, being selective with which teams are able to join and how you're organizing those different regions, and then just how seriously everybody in the league takes it. Whether your team is, playing on that final, Sunday, or making internationals, or even within your region, like, you've got regions like the New England where they've sent a different representative every single year of the league, except this year was their first 2-time winner. You've got, some of these regions where there's been consistent dominance challenged, like in the Carolinas, where Oak City finally was able to beat Charlotte. They end up going on a run and they get third. Like, there's good box lacrosse being played, and it is a testament to that kind of structure and that organization that we have. So whether we call it Senior A or whatever, like, I know that pisses off anonymous Instagram accounts. It's the best box lacrosse being played in America. And yes, realistically, it's mediocre to good Senior B ball. But even 3 years ago, that was not true.
I honestly think that Oak City Owls team was the most impressed I'd been. Like, surprised I hadn't seen them yet coming. Wasn't sure how it was going to be. I was, they were a lot of fun to watch.
They were fun. They did a good job in their first show. That Minneapolis team was pretty sick, too.
That Minneapolis team was pretty sick as well. I mean, like, you guys have a dedication that nobody else has. I can't wait to see John in Onondaga. It'll be fun. It's not too far from me. We'll have to hook up with you out there. We'll talk after the show's over about some of that stuff. Holy shit, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes already. I'm not too surprised.
Yeah.
We went way over.
Called the More Kings?
More Kings.
Charity had to explain to me what that meant. Everybody wants to be a king. Somebody put that in the chat, and I was like, no idea what that is.
Yeah, we got it right here. Everyone wants to be a king. Thankfully, we got no more new teams joining the league trying to take that moniker. We are
as champions.
Kings, we finally got our throne, finally got our crown.
Are you guys going to try to make that a league rule? No more kings can join?
I think, Tony, we should codify it. We should put it in the ruling. The Senators have all voted yes. There's no more teams that call themselves kings in our league.
They're probably the Kongs or something like that. The King Kongs.
We're fine with the Kongs. That's okay.
Close. Just keep playing your game. Don't worry about naming.
Don't worry about naming.
All right. Hey, I know we've been going a while. Greg, I gotta kind of rant about the more thing. So you heard us yelling it. I think it encapsulates kind of the mission of our team. More, like, yeah, that's got to be pretty intimidating to hear, because it's like, yeah, we're thumping you and we're going to continue to thump you. But it's more effort. It's more buy-in. It's more relationship building. It is more, and that's what we are all about. It actually happened down in Nebraska. We were playing them this year in a regular season game, a little bit closer game than we had wanted. We kind of came out a little bit flat. I had scored, and I ran to the bench, and I was just yelling more. And AJ does three things in this world very well, better than anyone else. First one is spawning beers. He somehow always has a cooler that's full of beer. His other superpower, he bench presses more than anybody listening to this podcast. And his third superpower, nobody is better at echoing what I say with energy and enthusiasm. That guy is the world's greatest echo. And so he goes out, lays the body. Sammy scores a goal. He comes off screaming more. And that's just something we've been yelling all season. But again, it's like a quintuple entendre, like we're Jay-Z in his prime. It is all about more all the time with us. Whether, we have en avant on our shorts, which is the Minneapolis motto. It means forward progress. I think we're going to change it to more for next year, because like that is everything with us. And it comes down to the amount of guys we have still playing competitive lacrosse, the relationships that we're building, and like the life skills that we're able to help out with some of these younger guys, the connections, the ability to connect guys to go play up in Canada if that's what they want to do, to go play junior or senior ball or play in these tournaments. We are all about more all the time. Yeah, we're super freaking happy with one. It took us 8 years to get here. It was a lot of toil, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to do it. But we're not happy with one. We want to be multi-time champions. We want to be, go up and play some of these teams across the border. We want to go compete on the world stage out in Prague. We want more. And we're pretty stubborn, so we're going to get it.
I like it. I like the more. Let's go around and, John, we haven't heard from you too much, but when do you had a knee issue, you're planning to play this spring?
Yeah, so I fully tore my meniscus, and I had some severe cartilage damage. Got surgery about a week before heading out to Milwaukee with the boys. Staying home, just doing online school until January 20th, but after that I should be full steam ahead. I mean,
yeah, Central New York's beautiful in January. That's the time to come.
Yeah, already looking forward to cutting it a little bit early and getting out there with the boys for this for our off-season stuff in the winter. And some of these guys are even warning me, like, don't do it, but they're not gonna stop me.
But Claypool was the first Moore guy. So Ainsley called him John Claymore when we were out in Prague, because he's an absolute,
We didn't know Dick until recently.
But Greg, I think it's cool. Like, Claypool, flex your story a little bit, because we got guys on this team. So like, we have people who played out in boarding school, played at Division I schools, played on teams that were national champions, former pros, current pros, all these guys. But we have people on the team like Blake Olson from Rochester, which you would only know of because of the hospital. They're not a great high school team. They don't have this great lineage. We have guys like Schomer and Claypool are up in St. Cloud, and like, Claypool, set the stage of how little lacrosse is played there and how like little exposure you had to this stuff.
So I started playing in I believe it was 6th grade. Picked up a stick because I needed something to do in the spring and I wasn't gonna fucking play baseball. I mean, that's obvious. But played hockey all my life. So the next best thing, I was like, let's just pick it up and let's play it in the air. Played some public school. I mean, we're Russian boys, like 25-0. But if we ever played Benilde or Pryor Lake, we'd get mopped. There wouldn't be a single point scored. And then I leave high school as the all-time assist leader, all-time ground ball leader, and second in all-time points at my school. Go to UNW, the last NCAA program in Minnesota, and I leave because we lost to a club college that's 25 minutes from my house in our first game. I was like, I'm not staying here at this tiny school to lose to guys.
Like, So Claypool had all these accolades. He didn't get any looks really out of high school. UNW is was team number 163 out of 165 for D3. Like they are a nothing, nobody place. People from St. Cloud don't go on to play college lacrosse. Our leader of our defense, or number 2 leader behind goals, was Steve Schomer, a guy who's been an OG with the Kings, has played with and alongside guys who are like currently or recently in the NLL, holding his own. Claypool, a guy, again, overlooked ridiculously out of high school, had to scrap and claw to even be able to play high school lacrosse. And he's got an opportunity now to play internationally, to be a national champion, to go out there, and he's going to ball out at OCC. He's going to get a look somewhere now. And like those type of stories, the fact that we can go from guys who have 10-year pro careers and they're in a Hall of Fame to guys who have had it kind of everything, they're here for work or school or whatever, to guys like Schomer and Claypool who like are just dogs that didn't get the credit that they deserved. And that is the thing to me that like when I put my head down and like feel something about this team, it's like stories like that. So like Claypool, like don't act Mr. Humble, dude. You're so good. But bro, you're insane.
You also got to be a little crazy to go out to OCC because that's no guarantee. Like that's a tough circumstance you're putting yourself in. That's a bunch of young kids that have been playing lacrosse, forever. So kudos to you. Not a lot of guys have the testicular fortitude to go out to Onondaga. Like I know a lot of people who wouldn't go there.
Testicular fortitude. You talking about John Claypool?
I got a little something if you want to see.
Well, not some good.
No, I do not. I do not. I have no doubt that you would probably stand up and show us. So with that, thanks so much, John. Jeremy, what? Colts, give us a little sign off and tell us. It's been awesome getting to talk to you guys, but what is, I guess, the biggest thing you would like to say going forward as a King?
I mean, I think to kind of spin off just a little bit of what like Claypool and Midbow were talking about. We're a bunch of guys that have a bunch of chips on our shoulders, and we love winning. We love proving to these people that we can play at the high level and we can play better than you. All right. According to the Nor'easters, I mean, maybe they don't know my name, but they definitely knew who I was. They told me I was slower than the glacier. Good chirp, good chirp, good chirp. They also told me, they were like, buddy, where'd you play? The University of Phoenix? And it's like, yeah, another good chirp. They were good chirps, great chirps, by all means. But it's like, buddy, I'm the same guy that you're not doing anything against. We're the same guys that you can't score against. We're the same guys that you're afraid to catch the ball because we're right in your face the second you catch the ball. All right, we're the same guys that are putting goals on you, tapping you on your head, and you're super stoked about your B Team USA tryout, so you butt end the dude because you think that you deserve something better than that guy. Like, we needed this championship so bad. We needed to throw this in everyone's faces, and we need more. We need more. We need to prove to these people that it's just like, yeah, we're here to play. I mean, to talk about Claypool came from a nobody school, like in Minnesota, the school that Claypool plays at, no one even knows and nobody knows who the good schools that Claypool was talking about in Minnesota, like in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Will McKinney, your guys' favorite player to watch, right? This guy started playing lacrosse sophomore year of high school. He was a year younger than
That's
me.
when I started.
And I remember this dork coming out on the field, and I'm like, this dude sucks at lacrosse. Legitimately. He'll admit it, too. And he goes out to play college, NAIA, smartest move by anybody that, if you don't get, a huge scholarship, D1 or D2, go play NAIA. They pay for your entire school, and you get to be the best player on the field. And McKinney got good at being good. And then all of a sudden he comes back to our men's leagues and stuff. And McKinney's always like, who's this guy, dude? I remember this guy played for Burnsville. This guy stunk. What's he doing lighting everybody up? That's the story of all of our teams. Midbow played at Farmington, started that program from the ground up, who is going to win a state championship this year. He started that program. He went to, where'd you go to that? Wisconsin, Concordia, Wisconsin.
Concordia, yeah.
Went down to Louisiana Lafayette. We got all these people that are like USA tryouts. Yeah, sure, we got some of them on our team, but you're getting dogged by some of your University of Phoenix people. Like, and the league needs to start recognizing that. It's like,
The
yeah, buddy,
University of
I'm
Phoenix.
like, all of a sudden I'm slower than a glacier, but how many points you have on me? None? How many points do I have on you? 3? Like, come on. What are we talking about, people? Give me more. Give me more.
More. I love it, Golds. That was an amazing wrap up. All right, well, you got big shoes to fill after his ending.
There's no way I'm feeling that. No, but they said it. They said it best. I mean, we just want more all the time, and that's what's going to be our motto. We'll find a new motto next year, probably. We went from run the ball to more. We'll find a new one.
We got a lot of things. We got a lot of things.
We got a lot of sayings, and AJ loves to echo them very loud and proud, like Midbo said. But no, I mean, this year is kind of a testament. I think more was the perfect phrase for our team because we wanted more since last year. We started this August to August thing last year. I mean, I think I said that the day after nationals, after we lost, because we were like, all right, we got to start the season September to August. And I was like, no, we need to start now, August to August. It goes from today if we want to be back here and winning on this stage and look at where we are now. So we wanted more since then, and I think us just running into more this season is just an testament to it. Jeremy Goltz.
Look at Goltz' background. That's been his background the entire year.
Yep, the Stephon Diggs motto right there.
It's the Wild celebrating the trophy from last summer. I'm glad you guys got to see kind of behind the curtain. Like, we get this reputation for being this machine and being this big team. Like, we've won our league 7 times in a row. We came to nationals with 40 dudes. We're a bunch of nobodies with chips on our shoulders, and we're a friggin' family program, man. We got 3 sets of brothers on the team, 4 sets if you count Will and Goltz. We've got my dad and AJ's dad run the shot clock. My wife runs our game day. My kids are ball boy. Like, we're a bunch of nobodies who love the fuck out of each other and love beating on these teams that, like, had stuff that we feel like we didn't have and that we should have had. And we're, like, again, a championship doesn't change that. We still want more. We're coming back to run it back. We're still chasing the Wild 3-peat. Shit, we want 4.
You want 4. And in case anybody didn't catch it, that is the Tony Gray. He's on the bottom left of everybody's screen. Tony, we really do appreciate you. If anybody has a problem with Tony's commercial, I made it, so it definitely did not have video editing. We're streamers, not video editors. We try our best. But thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate it. Tony, thanks for always helping out. And really, anybody who didn't notice, Tony running the shot clock, sitting next to us, making sure we had everything, and Rich, they really did work a lot this weekend as well. I appreciate all the work you guys put into it because, like I said, you guys are a very entertaining lacrosse team. And McKinney is good for at least a dozen highlights. I was watching today and I was like, I'm throwing them all in a drive folder because I was like, I can't post this many yet. But it's been an absolute blast, and all I can say is, more.
More.
We want more.
More.